Hey, welcome back to Read by Ed. Today we are reviewing Legacy, What the All Blacks Could Teach Us About the Business of Life by James Kerr. Now, background on why I picked up this book. I worked in sports and a lot of people were talking about this book and how this book was really, really good and talked about culture and how you could translate it to the business of life. And so I picked it up. In this book, James Kerr follows the All Blacks of New Zealand to see why this rugby team is a legendary team. Their winning percentage is unreal. They are championship level every year and they do this consistently. And so he wanted to go and find out why. What is it about this All Blacks team, this rugby team of New Zealand, that's so different from other rugby teams? And this book it details a lot. It's great, but I'll give you my 3 takeaways. Number 1, what I found out from reading this book is that culture matters. The way you do things, the things you set up for those in the organization matter. One thing they always said in the book is leave the jersey in a better place than when you got it. Leave the locker in a better place than when you got there. So the culture there was we're going to do everything we can to ensure that whoever follows me will have a better experience on the field, off the field, but they wanted to leave it better than when they got there. And that was the driving culture of the All Blacks. Their stories about them, the locker room, the trash being picked up. They just went about and they just wanted to leave the jersey in a better place when they left. Number 2, the values you pick in cultures should matter to everyone in the organization. A lot of organizations have a certain set of values that they put because it sounds good. I worked in sports for the last 15 years and I have worked for coaches, administrators who have a culture, but those values don't matter truly in their life because you don't see the fruit of those values. And this book talks about how for any culture to have success, for any organization to have success, those values have to matter to everyone in the organization. And one way you do this is you communicate consistently the values. This is who we are. This is what we do. And the All Blacks did it. Another way is when you're hiring or when they're acquiring players, they look for these values in players. They look for them, as they're scouting them, they're training them, as they're interviewing people, they're looking for these values. This is huge. I'm a big believer that any organization that's doing well, be it sports or whatever, they have a set of values, and those people that are in that organization live up to those values because it comes naturally. And so that is a big takeaway for me. I have seen it on both sides working in sports where I've had success and I haven't had success, and everybody wants to talk about the athletes on the field. But one of the biggest reasons why in my career we didn't have success at certain places was because of these certain values. This is our culture. This is what we live by, and the leaders or people in the organization, the employees, are not living by that, and the athletes see it and it just doesn't work out. And number 3, the more you develop a person and pour into the person, the more results you will receive from that person in their production. Here it was on the field, but it's just a great lesson in taking care of someone else. The more you pour into someone. The only thing that can happen if someone has a cup and you continue to pour in that cup, it will overflow. And so as you pour into people, and maybe you're sports, you work in sports, you listen to this, that's my background. You can see the helmets and footballs and all the lanyards from my time in sports. Or maybe you're an organization, you lead an organization, or you're in an organization, or you're a leader, you lead people. Maybe you're a teacher. Shout out to all the teachers. But the book talks about the more you pour into the development of a person, the more you get out of them. For them, in this book, for the All Blacks, that showed up on the field. The more they poured into the personal development, the leadership, the tangible skills, the transferable skills, and just all the off the field development and the cultural things they did, the better the results were on the field for them. This, if you're big on culture, I know I've done the culture code, which you can see here, and I'll put it at the end of the video here. But if you're big on culture and you're big on transferable skills and you love sports and you know sports could be transferred to business or vice versa, this book is for you, because it just talks about, and all the things they do are not astronomical. They're little things that they do to create massive success. But it's just a great book about culture, a great book about achievement, a great book about continuing excellence. Thank you, James Kerr, for writing this book. This is literally one of the best books I've had. It took me a while to read it because I was breaking down each chapter. I was like writing another chapter from breaking down the chapter. So James Kerr, Legacy by James Kerr. If you want to get your copy, the link is in the show notes. Thank y'all so much for checking out, and check out this book here that I did, this book review I did here on Culture Code, another book on culture. Have a great day.